So it's no secret that the top athletes in the world all have physical coaches and mental coaches. Why? Because they clearly buy into the idea that your mindset or the way that you think has a direct impact on the ability of your physical body to achieve. Well, then my question is, why are we not discussing this in the fertility world? Why are we not discussing our clients' headspaces and the way that they think with respects to their fertility or infertility? Well, today I'm going to share with you a tool a friend of mine shared with me. He competed in the Olympic Games for swimming, and I must be honest, this technique and this tool blew my mind, and I'm so excited to share it with you today. I'm Kelly. I'm a fertility coach and dietitian. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, click the bell so that you can get notified every time I release a new video on fertility, getting you to your baby, and talking about all the things in the fertility industry that we are just not talking about that need to be spoken about. During my 3-year fertility journey, I definitely was not in a good headspace. If I remember really clearly, I was very much focused on what my body wasn't achieving. I was pretty positive in that 2-week waiting period, but I would be lying if I said I wasn't thinking, well, it probably won't happen. It's been so long, this is never going to happen for us. And then when I did have my period, I would really hate on my body. I would really be quite mean to it. And I definitely wasn't thinking in alignment to the outcomes that I was trying to achieve. But if I'm honest, I actually thought I was helping myself. By thinking the worst or expecting the worst, I thought I was actually protecting myself from hurting less when I didn't conceive or when my period started. I really thought that it was a form of protecting myself. But let's face it, this is 100% not the way an athlete approaches an event. One thing I've learned along this journey is when your period starts, it's always 100% shit. There is no, oh well, I expected it to start, therefore it feels slightly better. It's always devastating. If you want a baby, every month of not having a baby or not conceiving is on the spectrum of shit 100%. There is no less than. So whether we do the mental work or whether we don't is a question you have to ask yourself. If you're always going to feel as bad if the outcome is negative, then why not throw the kitchen sink at it? So years after my fertility journey, I was sitting at a lunch next to an elite sportsman who had represented Australia in the Olympic Games for swimming. I said to him, "Did you have a mental coach?" And he said, "Yeah, of course we did." In that moment, he shared this incredible tool, and here it is. He said to me, "We used to all have to lie on the floor of the gym, on our backs and close our eyes. The coach would then shoot a gun or fire the whistle and hit the stopwatch. And we had to swim our race in our minds. As soon as I lifted my hand, the coach would stop the stopwatch, and I had to be within 10 split seconds of the time I was achieving or trying to achieve in the pool, that in that moment lying on my back." So I said, "Oh my goodness, tell me more." He said, "I knew exactly how many strokes I had to swim. I knew how I touched the wall, the tumble turn, the push off the wall." He said, "I knew when I did double kicks. I knew when I was just power kicking." Every single step of that race, he mentally prepared for, as well as physically prepared for when he was in the pool. This mental work was so important. 10 split seconds above or below the time that they were gunning for in the pool, they'd have to do it again and again and again until the mind was achieving exactly what it needed the body to achieve in the pool. Now, do you think anyone is doing this mental work before an IVF round? Are we expecting our bodies to take that embryo in, let it nestle into the womb, and allow for implantation and conception to happen? Or are we expecting the worst because we've had failed rounds of IVF already? Are we expecting every month to conceive? Is the mind aligned with the goal that we want to achieve? Or are we actually telling our bodies what we don't want to achieve as a protective mechanism? Headspace wise, I like to call it a pro-conception or a pro-pregnancy headspace. Have you been able to get into the right headspace during this journey? Please share what you've done below and help others as we navigate this journey together. So here's my opinion. If we are on a fertility journey and we're struggling to conceive, are we looking at things outside of the physical body as potential blocks to this journey? Is a couple's headspace or how they're thinking about their fertility treatment or their actual body's sperm egg lining, are these things getting discussed? If elite athletes are having to run their races, swim their races, win their races in their heads, surely on a fertility journey we should be addressing a couple's belief, how much they feel their body can do it, whether they think that this is actually possible, and throwing everything, mind, body, spirit, and emotions at this fertility journey and getting them to their baby. The answers are not always lying on the physical plane. An elite athlete is an example of that. If you look up your top athletes, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Rory McIlroy, Michael Phelps, all of them have had mental coaches, guys that have worked with their heads, their inner worlds to get them to the levels of sport that they've achieved. Is this something that's resonating with you? Have you done this work on your journey to get to your baby? If not, reach out. I'm so here to help, to support, and to hold your hand along this journey. Download my free ebook. It's entitled, Are You a High Achieving Woman Struggling to Conceive? Click the subscribe button, connect with me via email. There is so much mental work that can be done in the fertility space, and it's time that we start shouting this from the rooftops. The answers are not always in our eggs and our sperm. Reach out, just as your elite athletes have done.